just happened. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad. I've been bad, got coal that is sitting under my tree. I think that my Christmas has died. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am. But right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song.
Ooh, yes indeed. It is Wrestling Uncensored time. Kofi and Woods turned on Big E. We just watched SmackDown and wrestling things. Let's talk about it. Wrestling things, Johnny North. Wrestling things. You know what those things are. Things about wrestling. The business, brother. How are you?
Well, I'm very well. Like, I had a great time today. A lot of laughs. And thankfully I haven't peed myself yet, so let's see if we can get through this episode without doing that.
Dear God.
Yeah. You know, you're having a good time when you almost pee yourself. And thankfully, no crap myself either, too. It's good. That didn't
That
come
is
out.
not usually a mark for a good time for me. I don't know what you were up to today. I'm aware of what you're up to. I know what you're talking about. Maybe you should tell people so you know. You went to see a funny movie, John. Johnny went to see the new Trailer Park Boys movie is what he's getting at. And he really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Oh, it was fantastic. I enjoyed it very much so. I highly recommend it for any fans of the Trailer Park Boys to watch it. So many good times. Like, so many to name it. It's hard, really. Like, and I don't want to overthink it because I'm going to be laughing throughout this whole show. So we'll get to it later if you want. But yeah, highly enjoyable.
We're here now. Why wait? I have questions.
All right, cool. We got the whole thing. The review going. Nice. Music and everything.
Bam. Let's go.
And Lauren wants it, so Lauren's going to get it, yeah. So the fourth Trailer Park Boys movie, On the Shoulders of Kitties. I believe it is the story of Bubbles and the Shit Rockers. That was the full main title. When I went to the theater, though, it just said Trailer Park Boys movie. So that's what I asked for. That's what I got. I was very happy with that. And it did not disappoint. I know there's been 3 other ones in the past, and I've highly enjoyed all those in the past. And I feel like it's been over 10 years since the last one, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, oh, how's it going to be now? It's going to be different. So many people, unfortunately, have passed on. There's no more Leigh anymore. That really changed the dynamic of the movie. But, you still have Ricky, Julian, Bubbles in there. Randy's still there. And I was unaware of this, or I just maybe wasn't paying attention. But apparently Randy controls like the Dirty Burger now. I didn't know if you were aware of this, Dave, or not. Or
no, why? I mean, how would I be aware of this? Why would I know about these things? I didn't know Randy. I mean, I know Phil Collins is dead. I know Leahy's dead, so I guess I got to figure out a reason for Randy. I don't know.
Randy's also like the supervisor now of the trailer park as well, right? But he's also he's doing things on the side as well. He's got some side deals going on.
Okay.
You also know he's like Smokey the Bandit too, right? You're aware of that, right?
Well, he's Smokey. He's a male prostitute.
Right. You know that one. Okay, so that's still going. That little hustle as well.
That's still going on too. Wow, he's got several businesses running for himself. Old Smokey's still working. Good for Smokey.
Yep. Randy's very busy throughout the whole movie, actually.
Great.
Yes. Doing a lot of stuff. But yeah, the Dirty Burger, I was surprised by that. It was a nice little remembrance that it still exists because I forgot about it almost.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. And I wonder if you'll like this movie as much as I did because it's mainly about Bubbles. Like Julie and Ricky are in it, but I feel that they're more like guest stars actually in their own movie. So that's where I wonder if you'll enjoy it as much as I did, because like you'll get Julian, Ricky, and Bubbles together, but it's here and there. It's mainly about Bubbles and him going on his dream of becoming a star in music.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It seems weird to do a movie without Leahy.
Well, that
seems weird to do Trailer Park Boys at all without Leahy.
I mean, it's only for the first little bit that they're in the trailer park. And then afterwards, like, Bubbles is on tour. Like, he's touring, like, throughout, I guess, the province.
Yeah.
And then, he goes to London. So, like, there's a good chunk, like, they're barely in the trailer park. So, it's a different kind of dynamic. And honestly, I think that's a good idea because it's not the same anymore without Leigh, right? So, and, like, in terms of, like, a villain, a true villain, they had to like bring one from the past back. Like I don't know if you remember like Tom Mayu, like you remember the Out of the Park series that they had, where they had to go to all these different places in Europe or even in the States.
Yeah,
and it was Tom Mayu like setting them up and all that, but he's always like a jerk to them.
Yeah, I didn't like that stuff so much.
Well, then maybe you might not like the whole stuff with him and Billy Bob Thornton. Then possibly.
Yeah,
I think you'll you'll love the stuff with Ricky and Julian Bubbles because that's just classic Trailer Park Boys stuff that they pull off. And for whatever reason, I don't know what it was, but they had this idea where every time Ricky's on like set or you see him on screen, he's just always angry and like almost always breaking stuff, or he's drunk or he's high on mushrooms or something. He's always like just destructive. So whenever he's around, chaos, absolute chaos, which I think a lot of people want to see. But again, that comes here and there. It's not throughout the whole movie.
I love to see Ricky being Ricky, you know? I love to see old Ricky LaFleur doing his thing.
Oh, and Julian too. Like Julian's always trying to get his deals. He's trying to be like Bubbles' manager. He's telling him like, you can't stay in my place. You can stay in Ricky's place because I don't want all this crap in my place. I got girls coming over, and then Ricky's all mad because they're supposed to go get some gas or steal some gas. And then Julian's like, no, don't worry about it.
Now, so we got Ricky and Julian and Bubbles and Randy. No
Yeah.
Leahy, obviously. I mean, who else is in this? Are we seeing Jacob? Are we seeing Corey? Are we seeing anybody?
None.
Nobody.
No Jacob, no Corey. They mention Motel, like Trinity's daughter,
Son.
but like son. Sorry, yeah. But that's
The
it's been
motel.
so long. I've even forgotten. Like, it was a son. Like you see a little girl that Bubbles talked about, but I didn't remember that there was like a little girl in the trailer park like area, and it's been so long too, right? So, who is that kid? I think it was just a random kid.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
it. A lot of the original cast, like Sam Losco, who I met recently, not in the movie at all.
No. No J-Rock, obviously. No T. No Mr. Green. You know?
Like
Right.
in terms of like all time, like I don't know if it's my favorite Trailer Park Boys movie, but you know how much I like The Big Dirty, and I would put this above The Big Dirty actually.
What?
I thought the jokes were actually. Oh yeah, I put it above The Big Dirty. I thought it was funnier than The Big Dirty. And again, like the way it's set up too, it's like more like how Trailer Park Boys was. That was the big problem with The Big Dirty. They try to play it more like a movie, where in this one they play it like how they always did, like they're being filmed, they're being interviewed. That's another reason why Ricky gets so mad. He's like, I've had enough of you guys. I've had you away from me for so long. He attacks them. So that was a good part of the movie. But again, it's different. It's been so long, and it's mainly about Bubbles. But I think it was also kind of like heart-wrenching in a sense too, like because you've been a long time Trailer Park Boys fan. I think you know about his cats, and I think one in particular, I don't know if you remember this cat, but like Vince the Pinch.
Yeah, I guess.
Was that the cat that had like that weird
Yeah,
hand or
yeah.
whatever?
He snuck him into prison with him.
Well, as you could probably, I didn't think about it, but you could probably imagine, unfortunately, that cat has passed away.
Well, yeah. I mean, that cat was so long ago. That was like 2003 or something.
So there's a really good, like, heart-wrenching, like, tribute song that he does for
To
the
Vince the
cat.
Pinch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a really
because
great
Bubbles tricked him, and he said the cat couldn't take care of himself. So he had to bring him into prison with him. But then he's like, actually, he can take care of himself just fine. I just wanted the little fucker in here with me. Right? That was the line from Bubbles. I remember that.
You remember the line
Bubbles taking-
exactly.
Yeah, of course. I love the Trailer Park Boys. Rank the movies then. What's from 4 to 1 here? You've seen all 4 now. I've only seen the 3. I haven't seen the new one. I can give you my ranking after, but what you've seen them all now, John. You're the movie reviewer here. What's number 4 to 1? Is 4 The Big Dirty? Is this the number 3 here, or what are we talking about?
Yeah, I go, this would probably be 4. No, the Big Dirty would be 4, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And this, it's tough. Like I feel like it's almost tied with Countdown to Liquor Day. Like it's that good. But again, it's different though too, because you don't have Leahy, so that's a big loss, unfortunately.
Yeah, man.
But
I mean, half the
but-
fun of Trailer Park Boys was just Leahy doing Leahy things. I mean, come on. Countdown to Liquor Day is the one where Randy's got his head like drawn on, right?
yes.
I mean, come on, dude. That's the best. It's so good. I think my favorite,
I mean-
though, I would agree with you, though, John. The number one is Don't Legalize It. That movie was amazing.
The white liquor, yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah, yeah.
white liquor.
Yeah, that's the greatest. Hey, that's the peak right there. But
Oh.
this, again, for so long, like this was definitely fantastic. Like, I don't think I've laughed in the theaters that loud and hard in a long time. It's
Okay.
incredible how good it was.
Okay.
And
If you're
again,
saying it's
like,
almost as good or as good as Countdown to Liquor Day, then I definitely have to see it, John. Because that
I think
movie
you might
was classic. I still watch that movie. It's great.
I think it's just great to see how they've evolved too. Like you'll notice, like Bubbles, like if you definitely look back throughout the history of Trevor Boys, how his character has evolved over the years to see where it is now too. It's quite the progression. Where I feel Ricky and Julian have degressed actually, like not really improved so much, and they're very happy in what they're doing. But Bubbles is obviously trying to do something in his life.
It depends what movie you're watching. You know, some of them are up, some of them are down. Depends on the time you peek in on the boys. It seems like, you know.
That's a fair point, very fair point. But again, I highly recommend you watch it. And I wonder too, like for someone who's never watched Trip Hop Boys to go into this like cold like this, I wonder how they would take it. Because they'd probably just take it as like a weird kind of musical comedy kind of thing.
Is
But
there a
it's more
lot of
than that.
music?
I mean, there's the classic one, right? Liquor and Whores. That's in it, obviously.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And,
not
you know,
Kitties Are So Nice? I thought that was a classic one.
Who's Got Your Belly?
You don't know?
one
You know
as
that
well.
one? Kitties Are So Nice. Pin them.
I don't know if it's sung though.
Pin them
I don't know
down,
if
spin them round, tickle their bellies. It's a good one.
Yeah, I don't think it was played in this one. It may have, but I don't think so.
Well,
You'll hear a lot of songs though.
I'm excited to see it, John. I'm gonna see it. I love the Trailer Park Boys. Wish Leahy was still around. And Shitty Bill and Phil Collins. Rest in peace to all the lost Trailer Park Boys.
And Donnie. I miss Donnie. Donnie wasn't there.
Donnie. You know, that's more reason to have, you know, Cyrus in a movie. Like, if you told me the bad guy was Cyrus, I'd be like, ooh, okay, Cyrus, you know, fucking Cyrus. Cyrus with Terry and Dennis? Yeah, I'm there. But you're telling me this is a Trailer Park Boys movie without Sarah, even? No
Oh,
Sarah?
yeah, no Sarah. No Sarah.
How you do a
That old
movie
lady-
without Sarah? She was in all the movie. Like it's like she's from the beginning.
That old lady passed away too. The one who was in the more recent seasons, like she passed away sadly as well.
Barb Leahy's still alive.
Yeah, Barb's still alive, but yeah, they just didn't
Yeah,
have her, unfortunately.
yeah. I'm sure like a lot of those people will be willing to. It's too bad. Soon as Ray wasn't on the show anymore, you know you lost something. Ray.
Wow, so much. But I mean, I think it's impressive that they're able to still do it though. And I think this was a big point that I loved about this movie is the fact that they didn't harp on the fact that, yeah, they're old. But that was never really like pushed on whatsoever. And that's a big thing. I'm not a big fan of like when they do these movies that come back after so long, where they always have these stupid old jokes about how, how are you still doing this kind of thing? I love that we had none of that crap because we don't need that. It was kind of unnecessary.
Mm.
Like, we can see. It's obvious.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna check it out, John. Like I said, I'm a super fan, as you know. I love the Trailer Park Boys. One day I'm gonna redo this studio and I'm gonna hang up this Trailer Park Boys poster I have here. I've got a whole plan. I've got like a really nice, rare, limited edition Trailer Park Boys cartoon poster. It's like the whole Trailer Park Boys universe in like a cartoon, like all the people in Sunnyvale, and it's signed by the three boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
Nice.
have it right here in the office with me. I just have to get it framed and put it up. It's nice.
Another thing too, like I rarely want to see a movie again in theaters. I actually wouldn't mind seeing this again because it was that good. And that's why I'm thinking like it's very close with Countdown to Liquor Day because I'm like, yeah, I think I probably would see that again, but I'm not 100% sure if I would or not.
Oh my god, I remember seeing both those, Liquor Day and the Don't Legalize It. When I went to the theater to see those movies with my brother, like we lost it. It was just crazy.
Oh,
Like
I
you
bet.
couldn't believe how good it was. It was so good.
Oh, I
Oh,
imagine.
perfect.
In theaters, it must have been crazy. I think the
Oh,
laughter.
yeah. You just couldn't believe how good it was. So good, man. Classic movies. I love them so much. I love those guys. I'm glad they're still at it, and I will check the movie out. I'll try to get to the theater to see it. You know, it's tough for me to get out and do stuff like that. It's not really a movie I can go and take my kids to, right? So
13 plus, not so much. Your kid doesn't look that old enough. Yeah,
it's
sadly.
just
So
not appropriate for children, I think. The Trailer
we
Park
had the
Boys.
language. That's
Yeah.
true. And then what happens actually? A lot of debauchery in the movie.
Yeah,
lot
that's
of-
probably not, is it going to come out on Netflix, I'm hoping it does because all their other stuff is, right?
Maybe. I'm not sure about this because this is only out in select theaters too. So like, you're not
Yeah.
every theater is not going to have it. So maybe, maybe not. I think a good chance it might be on their SwearNet. So if you subscribe to that,
Oh, yeah.
you could get it. But maybe, maybe not. I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
sure
it. They
about
have their own channel with their own universes going on there. It's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing they got going.
But yeah, I saw that this week, and then next week I'll be seeing Craven the Hunter, which apparently has been years in the making for this movie. So I'll be seeing that next week. So the movie reviews continue on Wrestling Uncensored.
Aren't all movies kind of years in the making for the most part?
Apparently, like many years in the making, like more so than usual.
Okay.
Like they thought this movie would never come out, kind of thing.
Craving the Hunter?
Yeah, Craven the Hunter. Yeah,
Craven the Hunter or Craving the Hunter?
Craven with an N.
Craven.
Yes.
Like it's a person called Craven and he's a hunter?
It's in that whole like Marvel universe that you love so much.
Oh.
Yes.
This is a superhero?
Yeah, some type of anti whatever, maybe possibly super villain. But yeah, in that world of fantasy. Oh, Lauren loves my reviews. There you go. It continues for you, Lauren.
There you go. Thank you, Lauren. I don't like those movies. None of those things. I don't like. They don't appeal to me at all. I'm never interested in watching any of those movies. Those Marvel movies, those superhero movies. I don't watch any of that stuff. People be like, "Did you see the Wolverine and the Spider-Man and the Deadpool man and what?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see that. What are you talking about?" "Oh, it's a thing. It's out. It's a big one." I'm like, I'm not watching that, John.
Is AJ talking to you? That sounds like AJ talking to you.
I don't know. They got all these man, pool, whatever it is. I don't know who it is. Deadpool, X-Man. I don't know. I'm just so, like, none of those movies. I don't see any of them. People are surprised, too. People are like, what? I don't get it. I don't understand what the point is. The good guy wins in the end every time, right? Like, it's the same finish every time. It's kind of what WWE's becoming in a way. Like, very just Marvel Universe Hollywood, where it's just super predictable, boring. I'm so bored by it all.
Well, much like WWE, they were able to get people hooked by all the cool, awesome special effects and the flashy presentation.
Yeah, but where's the substance?
Oh, it's okay. It's just, background stuff. That's all you need to worry about.
I like movies. I don't like these big freaking blockbuster things. Every movie now is like a blockbuster. It's not interesting. I find it all kind of bland. So, I mean, we'll talk about that movie next week, but I'll be far less interested in it than this Trailer Park Boys movie, because at least that's like funny. It's got some laughs. It's a good time. Nice Canadian product.
And you're warned too, so that's good. You're at least informed of what it's about. Have a good idea what you're going into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's it. I'm actually going to see this movie, the Trailer Park Boys movie, this Craven Hunter guy. Like, I'm not seeing that. No chance in hell I ever see that movie. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way, dude. I'm not watching that.
I understand that, but I know a lot of people actually, like, I talked to after I told them about Venom 3, they actually watched Venom 3 afterwards. So my words
3.
have effect. Remember we talked about that. It was a couple weeks ago, but it actually happened on this show.
People talk to me about the show the next day. They're like, "You talking about this?" I was like, I don't remember. As soon as the show's over, John, I forget everything that happens.
I'm aware. We talked about Gatorade. I remember, Paul. Don't worry.
Oh, that I remembered.
Okay, remember
That I remembered. I talked about that. I find it so funny that his YouTube username is Palmeed. It just cracks me up.
It's better than the fake one you made for him, yeah.
What was the fake one?
The
Guy
real
Rez?
Paul Mead.
Was it Palmeed as well? Maybe he's using the one I created for him. That would make sense. I've created many accounts for Palmeed. Palmeed is also my alias when I go places. People ask me my name at Starbucks. I go, it's Paul. Palmeed.
You should have him on the show tomorrow if you can, for the big watch along you have.
I would love it. I would love to have Paul on the show. He won't do it. He'll say his back hurts or something. His back is legitimately banged up, so I believe him.
Had a hard life.
It's tough, man. It's tough being a guy who can fix everything. People want you to fix everything, and then you spend your time fixing everything, and then your body hurts. You know? That's life, brother. It's hard on a man sometimes who's got to work out there, brother. When you're a plumber, or the son of a plumber, or the grandson of a plumber, baby. Like Cody Rhodes. The hell was Cody Rhodes doing wrestling Chad Gable tonight on SmackDown? Why was Chad Gable on SmackDown? Isn't he on Raw? What's going on? They're like changing the rosters now because Netflix is coming? People are shifting?
Well, they said there's going to be like a trade opening or something. So
A
because
portal.
of that,
They said a portal.
yes.
What does that mean?
Because,
You're going to shoot
So that
people
means-
through to... You know? What does that mean, a portal?
I'm waiting for the excuse of like, well, it's rain outside, so I had to come inside so I don't get wet. So since I'm here, I'll wrestle. I'm waiting for that excuse to happen because I feel like we're very close to that happening after this. Like, well, because trades will happen soon, sometime, and since I'm in the building, well, I guess I'll wrestle. That's pretty much what happened.
Which is what we say about the draft like every year, and I feel like people don't hear us. It doesn't matter. It's fake. Like, they don't stick to it. It's the fakest part of WWE because they do a draft. They're like, you're on Raw, you're on SmackDown, you're going to stay there. And then immediately they're just shuffling around and nothing matters. And they make a
just too
big
bad.
deal out of the draft every year. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, guys. Get real. And now here, Chad Gable and his whole crew. Cody cuts a promo to start the show, and then Chad Gable shows up, and he's like, well, Cody, let me tell you something. Let's have a match. You're a bad guy. You're a bad friend to Kevin Owens. Just like Otis was a bad friend to me, and Cody's like, how about we wrestle? And then they had a match in the main event that Cody won, obviously. It was in...
Okay.
Yeah, the match was good. It was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, though, where Gable's from, so I guess, you know, there's that, but it's weird that he just shows up out of nowhere. Gunther was there, too. Dominic Mysterio was in the background. I think what's happening is they're going to shift the roster. I think Gunther is probably moving to SmackDown, and is going to be the world champion there, and Cody is going to move to Raw and be the WWE champion over there. Or,
Because of Netflix.
or, because of Netflix. Or, John, because, like, how do you do it? Either you do it with, like, Adam Pearce and Brutus Magnus making some sort of trade for Cody and Gunther, right? Or Kevin Owens wins the title at Saturday night's main event, which is neither a Raw nor a SmackDown show, and then decides, because he's been so poorly treated on SmackDown, not allowed, that he is going to go to Raw with.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Hard to say right now. Could happen, but
He does seem annoyed with SmackDown management. You know what I mean?
yeah, I feel he'd be annoyed no matter what happens. And Raw, to me, is actually more chaotic than SmackDown, although SmackDown was very chaotic tonight. But
Yeah.
usually Raw is like extremely chaotic, and it's going back to 3 hours. I know you keep saying it's not confirmed yet. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Netflix is going to be 3 hours. It's going to be long. Get ready for it.
We'll see. I don't know, John. They haven't said anything.
Well,
They
I
haven't
think
confirmed
you
either
can-
way.
Right. Well, again, wait and see. But I have a hard time believing. And again, too, like, maybe I should say this like straight up. It's just what I think. It's not like anything that I've been told like personally by anybody. I think some people may think that too, that I've been getting information like inside. Like I don't. Like I'm just giving you my thoughts on what I watch on television, and then Twitter helps a little bit, and that's pretty much it on this. And maybe that I do get some inside information sometimes, but in terms of this is just opinion. If that helps clarify things.
Well, I'm just guessing, and my guess is that they see what I see, which is the 2-hour format for Raw and SmackDown is actually working, and the shows are much easier to digest and more enjoyable in a 2-hour format, and they should keep it that way. That's my guess and hope. Because Raw in the 2-hour format currently is so much better than it's been in a very long time. It's so much easier to watch. There's less filler because they don't have to fill an extra hour. They give you more meat. Raw wasn't terrible this week, which, says a lot. Because for a while there, it was just bad. Impossible to watch, a chore. And now it's like, not bad. Had some good moments.
I liked it.
Easier to get through. So why would they switch that, John? Why?
It's Netflix.
What? So?
You got to be bigger and better, right? And they're going to bring in a new title soon on Raw, so need more time for other champions.
Maybe you're right, John. Maybe you're wrong. I mean, we'll see. I'm hoping you're wrong because, I don't want to sit through a 3rd-hour Raw. I don't think it's necessary, even with a women's Intercontinental Championship. Unnecessary. Cody won the match tonight in the main event. Kevin Owens attacked him afterwards. They brawled. Refs, agents came out, and they were brawling to end the show tonight. Kevin Owens was in his car, didn't want to come out to the ring to do an interview, told Michael Cole to meet him in the car. And Cole did. And wasn't it amazing, John, that this last-minute request by Kevin Owens for Michael Cole to come and interview him in the car, and Cole was at first not going to do it, and then a few moments later decides, okay, I will go and interview Kevin in the car. Wasn't it amazing that they had a dash cam already installed and multiple angles to do that interview with Kevin Owens? How did they install that camera in the car? Because that was a different camera than Kevin was using earlier. Like, that was clearly a set-up thing that was supposed to be impromptu. They shouldn't have done it that way. They should have done it. Like, the multiple camera angles made it seem faker than it needed to be. They should have done it with Kevin and his phone, just like he does by himself, but just with Michael Cole. The look of that would have been way better than the like fake camera that, the camera that's planted in there in the car and the camera on the side. Like, it's so overly produced, and it didn't need to be. And it lost something because they did it that way. Just the camera in the car, you go, wow, Kevin led a whole crew in his car to set it up beforehand. Like, it loses. I mean, they could have just recorded it from the one shot from outside the car with the window down. It's enough. But they have to have the second angle inside to get, it's like, come on. They overdid it, and they made it look faker than it needed to look. And it annoyed me.
Well, it stands out because this is supposed to be spontaneous, right? Like, oh, this wasn't supposed to happen, so he's on the fly doing something. And then everything is just like, to me, it's like clearly pre-taped. The second that aired, it's like, we're going to cut away to this, but it's obviously not even live. Like, everything is well done in terms of how they cut everything, one angle to the next. It's like, it's clearly not done on the spot whatsoever. So, yeah, it does take you out of the realism of it. But in the end, like, I thought the promo got the job across. I even like Michael kind of like challenge him a little bit. Like,
yeah,
Kevin doesn't, like Kevin, it feels very truthful when he says this stuff. He's like, I like talk to you because it was something to do to help myself get ahead, kind of thing. Like, that seems like something he would do. So that was good.
I thought Cole made an interesting point when he was like, well, you're all mad that Cody sided with Roman, but your friend Sami Zayn did too. What about that? Kevin's like, well, it's not about that. It's about Cody. And it's like, well, aren't you still buddies with Sami? Like, shouldn't you be pissed? Because he's like defending Roman and his whole family right now. He's part of the bloodline again. The whole thing that you fought against and, you wanted him to leave and all of this, like, there was this huge story. It lasted so long. You finally broke him away from it, and he didn't want, like, he was like, no, I'm not with them anymore, and you didn't believe them. You didn't believe Sami, and eventually you decided to believe him and team up with him and defend him against the bloodline, and then you beat them, and you took the belts, and it was this whole thing. You main evented WrestleMania with it, and now nothing? Doesn't matter that Sami's back with them? You're not mad about that, Kevin? He's not mad about that. He's just mad about Cody. I thought when Michael Cole said that, I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, it's true, eh? Goddamn, Kevin. What about that? What about Sami? He's back with the whole crew that screwed you, that you hate so much. That's why you're mad at Cody right now, because he's teaming with Roman. But really, who's teaming with Roman? Who just teamed with Roman? Your buddy Sami. So what about that? Shouldn't you just go after him too? Kevin's like, no, forget about that. It's Cody that I'm after. Kind of makes Kevin lose a lot of the credibility that he had. Like, he had a lot of credibility in the storyline with Cody, but then when Michael Cole says that, he kind of exposed Kevin. It's weird. But
I don't think Kevin. I don't think he exposed himself. I think it just that was a smoking gun in a sense that he's not going to win the title, because he said, "I'll deal with that later," kind of saying that that's his next thing to happen. And I don't know about you. I don't think that's the next feud for the WWE title. I just think that's Kevin's next feud, period. So he is going to deal with Sami, but that's after Cody, I think.
But that would mean he'd have to go to Raw.
Well, I mean, the whole like trade portal's open, so no problem with that. We have the Rumble coming up soon, anyways, right? So it's a whole like interbrand thing, anyways. And it won't matter because it could lead all the way into WrestleMania. They might even do that. Kevin versus Sammy at WrestleMania.
Again?
Why not? This time, a stipulation match.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. You might be, we could be heading there, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they're going with Kevin. I don't think he's beating Cody at Saturday night's main event. But I kind of want him to.
I'd love that to happen. I think it'd be a nice little change of pace because I feel Cody's kind of been kind of stagnant. And I wasn't too big on this whole like him and Chad Gable thing. There's a lack of challengers for him right now. And like top challengers. You really need to have him against like Randy, even though it doesn't make sense right now. Just that you want someone where I put a threat to him. Like Kevin's all right, but he doesn't win this. Like it has to be over.
I think the Cody threats are going to come from, Rock and Roman. Those are going to be the real threats.
It's a little bit of ways, though. To get to the Rumble, like I don't think it's Roman or Rock. I think Randy would be fantastic. I think.
I don't know. Randy at the Rumble? How do you get there? I mean, the Rumble's not that far away, John. I mean, we're kind of almost mid-December now. You get through this Kevin Owens match on the 14th of December, and you're halfway there. And then you could go with, I mean, there's talk that it might be The Rock and Cody at the Rumble.
Seems way too soon. And like to me, that's a big story to tell because the whole thing about The Rock gave Cody a message. We don't know what that message is. That's something that I would think would take weeks to explain. And then the whole thing with The Rock and the bloodline, what's going on with that, and how that intertwines with Cody still. I feel that's a lot more time on that one. And I feel that's pretty much WrestleMania because that's how we ended off last year's WrestleMania. So after WrestleMania after Raw. So I feel that's pretty much your WrestleMania main event.
It's a lot of questions going into WrestleMania, John. I'm still not sure where it shakes out. And again, like we're in December here, and I feel like by December most years, we've been doing this for a long time, man. I feel like most Decembers, as we head into Christmas, we've got a very good idea of who might win the Rumble and who might be main eventing WrestleMania. If not locked down, then we've got a pretty good idea. Right now, I am not sure. Because you say Cody and Rock. Okay.
And Roman.
Well, okay. And Roman. Yeah. Is that a triple threat match?
Yeah.
That's your night 2 main event. Cody, Rock, Roman.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense, right? It makes sense in a number of different ways. It makes sense for Roman. It makes sense for Cody. It makes sense for Rock. It makes sense. But is that what they're doing? And then how do they get there? Does anybody there win the Rumble? Or do we get there a different way and somebody else wins the Rumble to face Gunther?
Well, I have my picks. Like, again, for the Rumble, I think it's either Cena or Roman. And whoever off those two don't win, I think would win the Chamber. So I think that's how it's going to go.
You don't think maybe CM Punk could win the Rumble and face Gunther?
I think Seth is going to screw him over, or they might screw each other over, and that would just be a singles match, not for a title, just one-on-one.
Punk Seth at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see that. And you think what, Cena Gunther at WrestleMania?
For the night one, I guess, or one of the main events of night one. Sure.
Yeah. One of the main events of night one, probably. Maybe you do a women's match for night one main event. But if you do, who is it?
Well, Rhea Ripley's one of them, and whoever she's challenging. I mean, if they drag this whole live thing, I hope they don't, but they might, and that might be it. And then you're going to get mad that's the main event. But they've had the women not in the main event spot for like a couple of years now, so I feel like they have to give it to them. No,
It's a tough sell.
I don't disagree with you, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, women's war games was a tough sell, but they still threw it down our throats anyways.
How about Jade and Bianca against Charlotte and Becky?
I mean, that's a fun idea. I don't see it happening though.
Why not? WrestleMania? They can make that happen. Where's Charlotte's going to come back soon, you figure?
I'm thinking the Rumble. No? Like, wouldn't that be her big return?
Asuka, too?
And that's...
Where's Asuka?
Well, I don't know about that one. That's a big question. It's like, is she going to come back ever? I don't know. Like, that's more questions. But I think if Charlotte comes back, especially at the Rumble, she's winning that Rumble. So... she's going for the title. She ain't going for tag titles.
So you think Charlotte's going to win the Rumble? Because you're saying you think she's coming back, and you think if she's back, then she's going to win it.
She'd be my pick for the women's Rumble, yeah.
Huh.
If not Rhea. But didn't Rhea already win it? Like, it feels... but I guess they both won it. So that's my two picks, Rhea and Charlotte. So there you go for the women.
Well, you can't have two. Only one person can win. What's your men's Rumble
Raw and
pick?
SmackDown.
You're picking two?
Well, yeah, because like Cena or Roman, and whoever doesn't win would win the Chamber. So like Rhea, I think will win the Rumble, or Charlotte, and either one of those two would win the Chamber. So,
okay,
I think that's fair.
I like the pick of Charlotte winning the women's Rumble. I could see that happening. Yeah, maybe. I don't know who else could do it right now. Other than maybe Raquel Rodriguez.
You think she would win it? I think she'll have a decent showing. Like she'd have like the Diesel kind of showing. I don't know if she'd win it though.
They might want to accelerate that Diesel push, though. Have her turn on Liv.
I would think she'd wrestle more. We don't see her wrestle that much.
I don't know. She looked really strong. Was it on Raw this week? She took both people out. She took two people out at the same time.
Was it Io and Kari, I think? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not exactly. I mean... She's a lot bigger than both of them, so makes sense.
Yeah, but Liv was kind of like off to the side, and Raquel just kind of like took them both and like slammed one, slammed the other, and then just won the match. They made Raquel look very strong in that match on Raw this week. That's all I'm saying.
I want to say there was a distraction though too, was there not? Like it wasn't completely clean with that. I feel like.
There?
Didn't like Carlito or something jump up on the apron, cause a little distraction, and then that led to like Raquel winning. Didn't that happen also? Or am I thinking another Judgment Day match?
No, this was clean.
Okay, I might be thinking another Judgment Day thing where they may have tried to help Dominic try to beat Gunther, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't work. Yeah, Gunther gave Dominic a title shot this week, so we had to watch Gunther versus Dominic Mysterio, which was ridiculous.
Bad for the fans, like, because it's two heels and like,
Sad.
but people, for whatever reason, there's a fan base that thinks Dominic should be pushed, and there's this huge push in WWE that thinks Dominic's like one of the best talents in all of WWE. To me, the match kind of exposed it. Like, his 619 might be one of the worst 619s I've ever seen. And there's a bunch of wrestlers that do 619s now, and I think he's easily got the worst one. Again, his strikes, some of the worst strikes you'll see, not just in WWE, but in wrestling. I get people like the gimmick and the look, and that's fine. But in terms of the wrestling, I'd rather not watch.
Yeah, he's not great. He's not great. But the character, man, he's got it down more than most people do in wrestling today.
Yeah, he's got that for sure. People
That
put him
counts.
over MJF. I'm like, you're out of your mind, but
No,
whatever. Like,
No. It's not
let's
quite
not be
there.
delusional.
No.
Let's not be delusional.
No. MJF is way, way, way beyond what Dominic Mysterio is. But Dominic is, he's doing his thing. I don't hate what he's doing. I just, when he wrestles, I kind of tune out because it's not good. I know I'm not going to get a good match, And him and Gunther, Gunther is going to try, but there's only so much you can do with this guy.
I think Dom's better in tags, in and out kind of thing. That's the best use of him.
Yeah, a little move here and there, Maybe one day, but he's still quite inexperienced and just not quite there. Not imposing at all physically. Just there's nothing to it. Not particularly smooth in the ring. Yeah. Not great. He stands out for sure as being bad and kind of a joke. But that is his character too, so it's working in that way. At least it's working in a way. Johnny. What else is going on here? New tag team champions?
The New Day.
What?
Oh, I thought you wanted to talk about the New Day, no? We talk about tag champs if you want.
Yeah, I mean, briefly, we had new tag team champions crowned tonight on SmackDown. The DIY defeated the Motor City Machine Guns to take the WWE tag titles back. Tommaso Ciampa distracting the referee, and Johnny Gargano, who didn't want to be a heel, decided to side with his partner Ciampa, hit a low blow on Chris Sabin while the referee was distracted. Alex Shelley came in, was shocked and dismayed, and took a super kick. And then Ciampa got tagged in. They did a double team move on Sabin. 1, 2, 3. New tag team champions. A heel DIY going down tonight. And, I think this was a solid progression for what they've been doing with the DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns and Ciampa telling Gargano, you're letting your friendship ruin our tag title aspirations. You got to side with me. You got to be more heelish. And there we go. He decided to do it. Now we got a new look tag team champions. Good. Fine. The match was what it was. It was about the finish. It was about the turn. They did it well.
I feel like this is the whole mirror world. Like, if it happens on Raw, like a variation of it will happen on SmackDown. Because we had the same kind of thing with the New Day, right? Where we had, one part of the team was heel, the other part was face, and now, we'll just make them all heels. That's pretty much what happened with both teams now. They love doing the stories where it's we'll do pretty much the same thing, but with a slightly different twist, but pretty much the same result. That happens on both shows. The tradition continues.
Yeah. Well, New Day, they're not exactly tag team champions yet, but it's definitely a new look for the New Day. They had their 10th anniversary celebration, And they came out, Woods and Kofi. They were very thankful to the fans and happy. And there was all sorts of New Day memorabilia there. And it was all nice. And Woods seemed ready to make some sort of announcement, probably saying that they were going to break up. And then Big E comes out and he's like, I won't let you break up. I'm going to be your manager. You guys are the best. You got to remember who you are and all of this. And I'll be here every week as your manager. And then Woods is like, now you want to show up? Now you want to be our manager? Where have you been? And he's like, I've been injured. I broke my neck. And he's like, whatever. That's an excuse. And him and Woods and Kofi just verbally berate Big E, saying that he's been selfish and hasn't thought of the group, and it was always about the three of them and uplifting each other, and he let them down, and look what has become of them, and it's his fault because he hasn't worked to come back. And they said, I mean, even Woods was like, Kurt Angle broke his neck, he came back. Stone Cold broke his neck, he came back. Edge broke his neck, he came back, even invoking the name of an AEW contracted wrestler to get his point across. I mean, Woods meant business. It was a very mean promo, and Big E just left sad. It was very sad. And then Woods and Kofi, who seemed like they were ready to feud with each other last week, this week, they are bonded for their desire for more and their hatred of Big E, apparently. And the New Day is reborn as this two-man evil group of Kofi and Woods, who are just detestable bastards now, who have said horrible things about Big E, blaming him for not being able to come back to the ring, and blaming him for their downfall since he's been gone. Just a brutal promo. A couple of weeks of brutal promos from Woods and Kofi. Excellent work, but just dastardly stuff. Really makes you sad. That stuff they said to Big E was so mean. How could they do that?
Well, if anything, like, Big E has given New Day new life, right? Because now it's a new direction for them. So he's extended the New Day by doing this, by them getting a common bond against him. So this is actually good in a sense. And if anything, he kept the New Day going. And I feel like this would have been perfect if they still had Odyssey Jones around. Because I think then it would have made more sense in the end. Because I feel like it was kind of lacking in terms of, like, I don't quite get it. Like, the Woods thing, like, I kind of saw that coming. The Kofi thing, though, I feel like it was a bit lacking there. Because, like, that was really out of nowhere. Like, and if anything, the crowd seemed more shocked with that. I think they were kind of expecting Woods to be a bit of a jerk. When Kofi ended up being a jerk, they were like, whoa. And you felt that from the crowd. So, I feel that Kofi, like, there should have been a little bit more of, like, a gradual turn, or at least more of a hint of, like, he had an issue with Big E or something, or at least something where he agreed with Xavier, because he was completely against Xavier, but now completely on his side, like, just because of Big E. I feel like something was missing there, and Odyssey Jones, I think, was that missing piece.
Well, I don't think he was completely against Xavier.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean, he was last week, right? But they also said that they had spoken since last week and kind of cleared the air. Because when they showed up, they seemed happy to show up together, have their entrances together, and they seemed to be on the same page on Raw.
Actually, weren't they separate, actually? Like, I mean, they came out together, but weren't they, like, separate in the hallway or something?
Maybe. But I don't know. I thought they did a good job with the whole angle. I think it worked. And now they have a new life. Big E, if he isn't coming back, he's giving them one last thing that he can give them story-wise. And if he is going to come back, well, he's got something to come back to, revenge. So,
Well, here's another thing that was kind of lacking in that whole Edge came back. Edge came back after almost a decade. Like he didn't come back right away. So
Yeah.
give Biggie a little bit of time there. I feel like that excuse was kind of shaky at best, that one. So, and funny, they didn't mention Paige whatsoever. They could have mentioned that, but they did not mention that, of course. Got to keep that mess out of the way, I guess.
yeah, I mean, Woods is not going to bring her name up in a promo. Would not be appropriate. But, yeah, they were saying that he gave up, that he's not trying to come back. He's doing other things. He's not interested in it anymore. And they're blaming him for it. It was a good promo, man. It was good. They took a turn that I don't think people were really expecting. It was a bit of a surprise. And Woods and Kofi aren't splitting up. They're still together, and they've got a whole new direction. And, how else would you turn them heel? It's really hard to turn the New Day heel because you don't really have baby faces that they can attack where you go, ooh, I hate Kofi and Woods because they attacked this guy. I think if Kofi and Woods attack somebody, the crowd goes, oh, they must have their reasons. That's good. These other guys must be the bad guys, not Kofi and Woods. These fun guys with the music and everything, these are the good guys. But now, this was the way to turn them heel. Have them say the worst things to their injured friend who broke his neck and had to retire because of an injury during a match. This was the way to do it. I don't think there's any other way. I mean, there's probably a few other ways, but this was probably the best way to really cement them as heels, where you can get crowds to actually boo them going forward. Right?
Well, this is step one, though, too, because now they're going to need new music. I would even like new gear, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to need just a whole new look presentation. And that will, I think, solidify the heel turn, because you got to take away everything people liked. No more cereal.
Problem is the tag team champions right now on Raw are heels.
Yeah, I know. That does kind of suck. You kind of wish the War Raiders won. Even though they're pseudo heels or whatever, they're tweeners. I don't know what they are exactly. So they don't have strong baby faces, unfortunately, as tag champs. So that kind of hurts them a little bit.
Yeah. It would be better if the New Day had some babyface tag team that they could face right now, but they don't. Which is kind of a problem, right? Who do they face? Tozawa and Otis to get revenge? I mean, I guess that's one match, but what else?
It's tough on Raw. The Raw tag division is not very deep whatsoever.
The SmackDown tag division isn't deep either.
I mean, LWO, you got to start reaching for stuff.
Yeah, I guess they can go after Ray and his friends. They're baby faces. Do that for a little while. It all kind of started with Ray, didn't it? Bring it back to Ray.
Kind of, yeah. R-Truth, R-Truth can always get a friend.
Uh-huh. Shouldn't this be the Wyatts?
Yeah, but I feel like the Wyatts are kind of unstoppable. You don't want the New Day to face them, because then they'll get destroyed, so you don't want that to happen. Not right now.
If anybody could stop them, it's the evil New Day. Because the Wyatts, isn't the Wyatts' whole thing about how they don't like it when you turn your back on your family?
That is a little bit of their thing, and yeah, they'll probably get to New Day, because they have that big 8-man tag, right? This on Raw, I think, this week.
Okay, against Karrion Kross and his goons. Karrion Kross, AOP, and Miz?
Yeah. So maybe that's a blow-off right there.
Yeah. And then New Day. Because to me, I was like, okay, well, who does New Day feud with? And it's like, oh, well, who's on Raw? And it's like, well, the Wyatts really hate when you turn your back on your family. And what did the New Day just do? You know?
That's a tough matchup for New Day, though, because I don't see the Wyatts losing right now. Like, to me, that's a team you want to get built up to the tag titles so that New Day could beat them. But they aren't built up to that point yet. So I don't see the Wyatts losing right now. I don't see the Wyatts losing on Raw unless the New Day maybe help Cross's group.
Yeah, I don't know. Why would they get mixed up in that? Or maybe, it's a thing down the road where the Wyatts and New Day go at it for, maybe that's WrestleMania, John. Who knows? This New Day, heel thing is just beginning. They got to get the win back from Otis and Tozawa first.
Yeah, one step at a time. Yeah, they don't have to go into hell right away.
Yeah. Here's something weird that happened on SmackDown tonight, John. Shinsuke Nakamura came to the ring. Okay?
Okay.
Does his entrance. Then LA Knight comes out, and he cuts a promo, and he wants a rematch for the U.S. title. He wants his U.S. title back that he just lost to Shinsuke at Survivor Series, right? Then Andrade comes out, and he's like, oh, I want a title shot. And LA's like, no. I'm going to get the title back, and then I'm going to give you a title shot. And then he goes, oh, what the hell? And then Tama Tonga is there attacking Andrade for some reason. And then Jacob Fatu is there, and he attacks LA Knight. And then Solo is there, and LA Knight and Andrade are down. And Solo and Tama and Jacob Fatu surround Shinsuke Nakamura and think about attacking him. But then Shinsuke goes all spooky and starts leaking black liquid out of his mouth. The mist or whatever starts just leaking from his mouth. The Bloodline guys get scared and seem to decide to let him escape, it was just so goofy and so weird. I hated it. And then Solo's like, you people think the Bloodline's weak? Bloodline is strong. And when you mess with us, we're going to get you. It's like, all right, dude, chill out. You lost at War Games. Last week you had 5 guys with you. This week you have your 3-man group. What happened? Of course, we know what happened. 2 of their 3 guys got legit injured in War Games. Yet they insist on doing this match every year. People get hurt every year. And they publicize the injuries like a badge of honor.
Well, they also have to, because I don't know about you. I think Bronson Reed was probably the guy to do the attack at the end of Raw. But he couldn't do it, obviously, because he broke his foot. And that was disgusting, by the way. That wasn't Sid bad, but it's still very disgusting to watch that. And I agree with you. I think we said this on the post show. Highly unnecessary, a lot of these injuries. And that's only the injuries that they're telling us about. I imagine there's other injuries that probably not as severe. But still, for this kind of match, that garbage kind of match they did was completely unnecessary to lose that much talent all in one match. And now they're just down to, it's going to be a 6-man now, right? I mean, now Roman's fine. Now all he needs is, Jay and Sammy, and he's cool because, it's even.
Yeah. Well, he just needs Jimmy and Jay. He doesn't even need Sammy anymore.
Well, no, Jimmy broke his toe, right?
Oh, right. Jimmy is also hurt.
Yeah.
Which they opened up the show with. They're like, oh, Bronson Reed, broken foot. Tonga Loa, torn bicep. Jimmy Uso, broken toe. Look how dangerous War Games is. And I'm just like, why are you opening the show bragging about your talent getting hurt in a dangerous match that you put them in? The whole point of it is to not get hurt. is to make it look good and real and entertaining without anybody getting seriously injured. Because if you get seriously injured, you can't wrestle anymore. This was always the point of the business, and now the WWE, for some reason, has completely lost the plot. This Nick Khan TKO WWE has no concept of what professional wrestling is. They're so far gone from a professional wrestling company. Every single day they take further steps away from what professional wrestling is, and they expose themselves and their lack of understanding for the basic principles of the wrestling fucking business. And shit like this, where they advertise their injuries to start a show. Look how dangerous this shit is, you fucking idiots. It's not supposed to be dangerous. There's risk involved, but you're not supposed to get injured. And when 3 guys get injured, that's a bad thing. Because at a certain time in this business, if you didn't wrestle because you were injured, you didn't work, and you didn't get paid, and you went hungry. It's just fucking, ugh. The WWE right now, the people that are controlling it, are not professional wrestling people. And we have always worried about what would happen to the WWE if they were taken over by like a Disney or a Hollywood or whatever this is. And this is what it is. They've been taken over by Hollywood. They bought out Vince. He doesn't run the company anymore. It's not run by wrestling people anymore. It's run by Hollywood people. And we are seeing what it is becoming. And it is so confused. They have no idea. It's really annoying. They're not doing wrestling matches anymore. They're doing these hyper choreographed movie fights. They're trying to do like movie fight scenes in the ring. Little movies with little stories, and it sucks. And it doesn't look realistic. No one actually would behave that way in a real fight situation. It takes all the realism out of it. There is so much wrong with the WWE right now, and it's directly related, and it was exposed at War Games and Survivor Series. It is directly related with who is running that company right now. It is solely on the shoulders of Nick Khan. Nick Khan is ill-equipped to be the guy at the top of a professional wrestling company. He is very well equipped to be the guy at the top of an entertainment company. Very well equipped for that. And that's the job that he believes and his bosses believe that he has. But they're wrong. It's a professional wrestling company. And they're not doing it right. It's very confused. TK says, come on, Dave, the product is better than when Vince was there. I think the product is better in certain ways than when Vince was there in his final few years. But overall, I think the direction of the company, the ideas that are being put forward, the content in the ring, the things that are allowed to be done in the ring, I think you're setting some dangerous precedents that over time you will see that, like, we're seeing the cracks in the foundation, and over time they will expose themselves to be giant holes, and you'll realize, like, oof, what do we actually have here? Triple H exposed himself at the press conference for Survivor Series. I don't know if you caught this, John, but Triple H had a quote where he was asked about Elimination Chamber and why they feel like they could do a stadium for Elimination Chamber, doing big stadium shows for so many events, right?
Okay.
And he said, like, I wish I could get you the exact quote, but I think I get copyright stricken. But he said, like, there's a certain time of year where we're really doing big business, and it's between, like, January and, April.
Okay.
And that's when, the company's really hot and we're really focused on doing, like, the best stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is what we know, and this is what we're seeing here. Where from January to April, and he was kind of like, well, it's like the playoffs, in that season. It's like the playoffs, and WrestleMania is like the Super Bowl, right? From January to April. And you go, okay, that's the philosophy. He's exposing himself a little bit. Because if that is a philosophy, from January to April, that's the playoffs, and that's when you really kind of focus in and spend money and do some crazy stuff, then the rest of the year, the other 8 months of the year, it's just regular season, going through the motions, whatever. And that's not been the case in the WWE historically, where it's this kind of going through the motions, nothing's really happening, nothing big happens, Nothing major has occurred since WrestleMania. Nothing. And it's not usually like this, but that clearly is the philosophy that they're going with right now. This is the plan. This is how they operate. Triple H said it. He said it at the press conference. And that's not sustainable. You can't have a show that runs 12 months a year and only 4 months are exciting and the other 8 months are really boring. Predictable. Because eventually, people will get wise to it. Now, we watch it a lot closer than most people. So we're wise to it a little bit faster. But eventually, people will figure all of this out. That, this time of year, who cares? And the shows that they're doing too, John, like, I talked about it. It's the international WWE scam, where they hit up markets that they haven't been to in years. They're hitting up more and more markets that they haven't been to in years. They're running mediocre shows and charging astronomical prices. And they're saying the business is good. And that's fine to do right now, but you're going to run out of markets that you haven't hit in years. And when you go back, the people will remember that you stiffed them on the show and they got overcharged for the tickets like 10 times. So, like, there's a limit to how far this can go. And this is what the Hollywood people don't get, the money people don't get, but the wrestling people will go, well, no, I mean, that's not how you sell tickets, and that's not how you keep the people coming to the building. So I'm seeing how they're operating, and I know from my fucking 35 plus years now of closely observing the professional wrestling business that it's not sustainable. Like, they're so rich that, yeah, of course, they'll do good business, they'll make money, it'll be fine, but, like, fan interest and overtime, I'm talking about 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, the course has to kind of adjust. Because you can't just do 8 months of the year flat. You can't just hit up markets that you haven't hit in a while and charge them a bunch, and then, because those markets will dry up. AEW did like 80,000 seats, whatever, at Wembley Stadium the first time. Second year, it was almost half of that. A little bit more than half, but still. They dropped like 30,000 people. Back next year. So, when the audience is starved, everybody's going to turn out. But when you're not starving anymore, well, you won't necessarily want to pay $8,000 for a floor ticket for Elimination Chamber. It's a little much, man. It's getting a little crazy out there. And they can do it now, and they can do it. And it's working, and they think that it'll work forever. But it won't. It won't. Because people are going to figure it out. People aren't seeing it as closely as we are right now. But I have learned over time that, the trends that I see happening in wrestling, eventually they come true. It just takes a little bit longer because we're watching a little bit closer. So the average wrestling fan will pick up on it, just over a longer period of time.
Now, I love wrestling. I love watching it. And I will say this. I think if you want to watch the best wrestling, I think in terms of entertainment-wise, WWE is the best for it. So I get people want to go to the big shows and they'll spend a lot, but $8,000 for a ticket, I couldn't imagine ever spending that much. I mean, again, I love it, and I think WWE, if you're going to choose anything, WWE is a good choice, but $8,000, no, that would never happen. I'm sorry.
Yep. Do you want to take a look at Elimination Chamber tickets?
Well, that's what you're talking about. It's that's not even front row. That's second row, right?
Yeah. So let's see crazy expensive tickets here. This is Elimination Chamber at the Sky Dome, March 1st. Ooh, refresh. Wow. Yeah, accept.
Big stadium.
Huge stadium.
Huge.
Look at that thing. So these are...
I think Antoinette says she's in the 200s, if I'm not mistaken.
200. So around here. How much did Antoinette pay for her ticket, roughly? Let's see. $392. Yeah, about $400 a ticket.
Whew.
Seems about right. I feel like that's kind of where I would be. If I'm spending money on an Elimination Chamber ticket, it's probably about a $400 max per ticket for me. I would not want to spend more than that. But then you get a little lower down. What are these? Whoa!
What a jump.
It's
What a
$1,000. $1,200 to sit down there. It's not even... Whoa. That is unbelievable. Yeah, these tickets are very expensive, Johnny. Let's see here. Look at this.
Wow.
Whoa. Where are we? Here we go.
You're jumping over the place here.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it together. Look at this. Third row, $5,000.
Wow. Now, front row is gone, by the way, right? It's already
Front row
sold
is
out,
gone, so people have spent money on these tickets. Let's see. Second row. Look at this. $7,000. You're here, right? Your second row. The ring's here. The entranceway's here. You're sitting right there. It's an $8,000. It's a $7,500 ticket.
Yeah, because there's also an extra fee, I think, right? There's an import fee or something. They add on more to that.
There's always fees. Yeah. It's bananas. These are on the floor here. These are very expensive. $6,000 over here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many wrestling fans are gonna want to pay that much for Elimination Chamber. Cheapest ticket in the house is $200 up here. Way up. Couple hundred.
you would expect like closer to the date. I think maybe ticket prices will drop. I'd hope for people in Toronto that are hoping for cheaper tickets because it's really insane. This is Elimination Chamber, by the way. It's not even WrestleMania, and they're charging this much.
How about over here? Yeah, it's like 400 over here. How about over here?
And you've been to like
40.
Skydome, Rogers Center. You've been there before. Like, is that a great view? Like, will you get a good shot of the ring from there, or is that really way too far?
I think you'll be okay over here.
Okay.
I think you'll be okay in this range, but this is still very expensive over here. I think higher up, I mean, you're kind of seeing the ring, but I mean, it's far. Like, even where Antoinette is sitting, like, I'm sure she'll have a decent view, but you're still pretty far. It's a ring, you know? It's not like a baseball game or, you know, it's two people in a ring. I mean, I think it's not bad over here. I don't know, John. It's not something I'm willing to travel for. I'll tell you that much. I thought about Elimination Chamber, and I was like, you know. But just given the price of tickets and how weak the show is going to be, I don't think it's worth it. I think the show is going to be pretty mid, honestly. Like, I know it is WrestleMania season, so they might have something, but I doubt they have Cena and The Rock. And to get me to go all the way to Toronto, you got to have Cena and The Rock.
I mean, let's look at past Elimination. Like, we saw Elimination Chamber in Montreal. I think that was fantastic. However, last year's Elimination Chamber, I think a lot of people argue, was one of the weaker pay-per-views or PLEs.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because at an early start time.
It was a scam show.
I think it only had 4 matches, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 5. But again, you're paying $8,000 for 5 matches. That'd be some of the best matches you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. I don't know, Johnny. Seems excessive for a WWE show.
As of now, they haven't added, like, Toronto will get the SmackDown. But I imagine Toronto will probably get the SmackDown. And hopefully we'll get the Raw in Montreal. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. And I think tickets will be, you know, expensive, but what are you going to do? You got to go.
Well, I know somebody, so it's not so bad for me, but and I'll expose that. You know, I am blessed. I'm lucky.
Johnny has all the connections, man.
I'm lucky. I know it's tough for you because, you know, you have a big family. It's tougher for you.
Yeah, I need several tickets. You know, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's harder. You know? I still have some connections, but it's harder to get.
Well, the thing is, too, like, I don't mind where I sit. Like, you kind of want, like, to be on TV, so that's a bit more expensive.
I don't want to be on TV. I just want to sit in the 100 level in the middle. If I could be on hard cam side, I would be. It's just they don't sell those tickets until everything else is sold.
Ah, okay.
At Chamber, I was hard cam side. Same spot, just on the other side. Hard cam.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Like
Not
100 level. You know? Yeah, we had very good seats for elimination. When Chamber was here, 3 tickets for the Elimination Chamber and the 100 level in the Reds. Wasn't a cheap night out, but worth it. Memories forever. You know?
Well, I love the double shot. The double shot's a great idea. They should definitely keep doing that. But wow, imagine, like, you're spending $8,000 one night, and then by the end you're spending like $10,000 easily just on tickets, maybe.
Yes. I mean, I think, you know, depends how much money you have, John. Some people are millionaires. They got a lot of money. Some people are billionaires.
We're going down a bad path if that's the case, where it's like, well, it's okay, it's fine. $10,000 a ticket. Bad path.
I mean, I don't think it's fine, but people are buying the tickets. You know, I don't think it's great. It's kind of like, ooh, damn, what the hell? But I go, okay, I guess people are doing it. What are you going to do? They're getting people to buy it. Good for them. Seems excessive to me, but cool. If that's what you want to do. If that's what you want to do, Johnny. What do we want to do? Anything else? Can we wrap it up?
I guess
I'm
Dynamite.
just sad about the price of tickets now.
We can talk about Dynamite. I thought there were some good parts about Dynamite we could talk about.
Wait, hang on. I want to say that Tiffy Time beat Electric Lopez and Naomi in a triple threat to advance to the semifinals of the U.S. title tournament. Next week, it'll be Tiffy Time versus Michin and Bailey versus Chelsea Green. And the winners of those matches will face each other at Saturday night's main event, which is not tomorrow, but the following Saturday for the first ever Women's United States Championship. So that happened on SmackDown too, and I thought it was worth mentioning because we're going to get a new champion pretty soon.
Well, I'm happy because it's still going good for me, but I'm worried a little bit where I feel like they might screw me over here, where they actually might have Michin and Chelsea Green go on instead of Bailey and Tiffany. Like, to me, that's the money match, is Bailey and Tiffany. But they might throw a little like, oh, well, it's the mid-card title, so let's give people a chance kind of thing. They might do that. It's not impossible. I'm still hoping for Bailey and Tiffany. I go for the best match, not for the best charity you can give, but we'll see how they like to do this championship.
TK wondering if those were aftermarket tickets. No, those were the actual official tickets from Ticketmaster. Those are...
Imagine resell. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Crazy. Dynamite, you like the Kyle Fletcher Shelton Benjamin match that happened? Kyle Fletcher cheating to win, grabbing the rope and pinning Shelton. You like that? It was mostly Shelton just beating up Fletcher, wasn't it?
I thought Fletcher had his moments. I mean, yes, Shelton did look very impressive, but Kyle held his own there. It wasn't completely getting dominated. But I like the idea that they were kind of almost even a little bit. What's it going to take to... I think that still looks strong because he beat Ospreay, so Jose can't be beat. And Sheldon only lost because of the cheat on the rope, so he doesn't look completely weak in this either. So I see both guys more than likely will be very much in contention all the way up to the pay-per-view, I think. I'm hoping Benjamin makes it to the pay-per-view, but it's going to be tight, I think.
Do we have updated standings in the Continental Classics, John? More
Probably.
matches happen tonight, right?
I think tonight and tomorrow, too. So we're definitely going to have a lot of updates. Lots going down. And then, of course, on Dynamite, they announced more. Because, what happened off of Dynamite, because the main event was Claudio against Brody King, and Claudio won that one. So Claudio is, undefeated. So now he's going to face Ospreay on Dynamite, I believe, next Wednesday. Winter is Coming is next Wednesday, by the way. Arrived here in Montreal already, but, oh, cool. You actually have the whole brackets. Nice. Is it update as of now?
I think so.
Okay, wow.
Is that Okada with 4 points? He beat Mark Briscoe tonight on Rampage.
Okay, yeah. There you go. Up to date.
So there is the Blue League standings right now. Okada, 4 points with a win over Briscoe and a draw with Daniel Garcia. Kyle Fletcher has 6 points with wins over Shelton and the Beast Mortos. That's interesting. Daniel Garcia with 4 points with a win over the Beast Mortos. Mark Briscoe with 0 points, 2 losses. Beast Mortos, 2 losses. And Shelton with 1 win and 1 loss. I think Okada has got a good shot. I think Okada Fletcher is going to be a big one. Right?
Yep. Just remember, 2 people from this advance, right? So it's the winner and the runner-up.
Interesting.
It's still tight.
Okada Shelton is going to be interesting too.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the Blue League. Fletcher's leading right now. Sorry, what?
I don't think Mark Briscoe's ever going to win one. I don't think.
No, he may go without a win. The Gold League over here, we've got Claudio Castagnoli. He's beat Ricochet and beat Brody King in on Dynamite this week. He's got 6 points, leading the group. Will Ospreay with 3 points, Ricochet with 3 points, Brody King with 3 points, Darby Allin 0, and Commander 0.
Now, I think one of those zeros is with Juice because he's taking Juice's spot because Juice broke his foot, apparently.
Okay.
So Commander is a substitute. So one of those wasn't actually a loss for him. It's just he inherited Juice's loss.
I see. All right. Well, there you go, John. How about that? Updated standings for the Continental Classic. You didn't think you'd be getting that. Graphics and everything from AEW's official website. Thank you, AEW.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. I believe there's matches tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, on Collision. I want to say Ospreay's probably wrestling again, so I imagine he'll be tied with like 6 points as well, like him and Claudio.
Let's see. Collision. AEW Collision.
If you have the whole lineup for that.
Okada versus Fletcher is on Collision tomorrow.
Wow. That's a big one.
I think. Hang on. This website is not giving me. Okay. Okada Fletcher. Yeah, on Collision tomorrow. Daniel Garcia, Mark Briscoe in Blue League action. Darby Allin versus Commander in Gold League. Both guys have 0 points, so that'll be a match to look at. Willow Nightingale wrestling Serena Deeb and Emi Sakura wrestling Mina Shirakawa in the New Japan AEW Wrestle Dynasty Women's Invitational Tournament. They have a women's tournament going on too?
They kind of, well, it's like for Wrestle Dynasty, right? So it's like the winner goes on to a 4-way against like 3 other people from different feds.
Okay.
And the winner will get a title shot that they want, I guess.
Okay. Well, Darby Allin versus Commander and Okada versus Kyle Fletcher. 2 big matches tomorrow on Collision in that Continental Classic. Not bad.
I feel Ricochet's probably wrestling on Dynamite. I think it's probably Ricochet. I was going to say against Claudio, but he already wrestled Claudio. So he's going to wrestle somebody else, though. I think Ricochet has a match too on Dynamite. Pretty sure Ospreay will wrestle Claudio.
Well, Ricochet hasn't wrestled Commander yet.
Wow, that'd be
or no,
something.
he did. Sorry, he did. I think.
Tonight.
Yes, he beat Commander. He's got to wrestle Brody King still, Will Ospreay, and Darby Allin. So he'll either be wrestling Will Ospreay, Darby Allin, or Brody King on Dynamite if he's just wrestling.
Well, he's probably wrestling Brody King because Ospreay's wrestling Claudio, so that's probably the matches.
Ospreay's wrestling Claudio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good one, too. And as far as Dynamite this week, I enjoyed Swerve just whooping on Max Caster. I thought that match was good because it was short and Swerve just kind of crushed him. I thought it was a good, strong showing for Swerve. Swerve needed that. You know? Shouldn't have been a competitive match. Swerve just needed to run right through him.
It served its purpose. You know, it wasn't like a spectacular match, but not every match needs to be crazy, so it worked.
I thought Pac and Jay White was pretty good, too.
I thought it was all right. Like, I feel like they've had better matches, actually, but... Or just better encounters before. I thought it was all right, though.
Yeah. So, after the match, though, was interesting... I thought more interesting even than the match, even though I thought the match was pretty good, We had a Wheeler Yuta ringside there with Pac, and then Jon Moxley come out, and he attacked Jay White, and then Hangman came out, and he looked like he was gonna like save Jay White, but then Orange Cassidy shows up in like a hood and mask, and he starts choking Moxley, and then Hangman joins in. And Hangman and Jay White and Orange Cassidy all team up together and beat up Jon Moxley and send Moxley and his whole crew running away, which is the first time, I think, since this team has come together when they turned on Bryan Danielson, that they've been beat down and sent packing. I feel like every time they show up, they just like beat everybody up and everybody's dead and they just stand over everybody. This was the first time where Moxley's like taking a beating, getting beat up, and running away with his group. Right?
Yeah, I think you're right. And it's had more intrigue for this pay-per-view match that they're probably going to have a 4-way than the Orange one, because Orange really didn't get anything over on that one and never really believed in it. 4-way, it's like, well, now you can believe it because, yeah, at least one guy could take him down or a bunch of them can take him down. So it's far more interesting than what we've had in the past. And I think Marina kind of took a bump too as well. That was kind of surprising.
Mm-hmm. I think a 4-way at World's End makes a lot of sense. I think over the next few weeks, we're going to see wrinkles in the Jay White and Hangman relationship and the Hangman and Orange and even Orange and Jay White. Like, I think we'll see some, interpersonal stuff there where they don't necessarily like each other fully, even though they do all want to team up to take out Jon Moxley. There's going to be some of that stuff going on, but a 4-way match, I think, makes a lot of sense. And, this is a much more formidable group to go up against Moxley and his crew. You got Hangman in there, you got Jay White and Orange, as opposed to Orange with, Rocky Romero and Mark Briscoe. You know what I mean? Like, you got Hangman and Jay White there. These are top-level main event guys. So they look stronger against Moxley. I thought it was good. I thought it was a step in the right direction for some legit people to be standing up against Jon Moxley and his friends. Hangman. Like, this is where Hangman should be. This is what Hangman should be doing.
And you always have that threat of Christian, like he was like lurking in the background kind of thing. So I feel like he's going to become the champion. I think it's just the one guy. He won't do it to Moxley, but the guy who ever beats Moxley, Christian will probably cash in on him.
Any chance Moxley drops the belt?
I don't think it's impossible. I mean, does he really need the world title? I don't feel like he does. But maybe if Danielson can come back sooner than expected, like, maybe in the next couple months, then I would kind of wait on that one because I feel that's a big rematch to do.
Yeah, I don't know any word on Danielson. Like, it's kind of a mystery, right?
You hope for the best, and again, better for his health too. I mean, I wouldn't want him to go back in there and get like destroyed again.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be horrific. So when he's good to go, I mean, if the longer maybe the better. Then you believe that he's definitely healed and he's given it proper time. So I'm okay.
And the
with
longer he stays
him.
away, the more shocking it is when he returns.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
and there's enough challengers too. I mean, we haven't even thrown MJF into the mix for the world title yet. I feel Bobby Lashley should be there. I know you don't, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. I feel like there's a lot of interesting guys that could be in the mix. Swerve can always get back in there too.
Yeah, Swerve for sure. Speaking of MJF, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole won a Jabroni Battle Royal. Yes, they both won the Battle Royal, and now they have to wrestle each other to determine who gets to wrestle MJF for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Which, like, if you're trying to determine who gets to face somebody in a match and you're doing a Battle Royal and at the end of the battle royal, you're like, 2 winners, and then you guys wrestle. It's like, you're already there. Why not just finish the battle royal? Why not just have the winner of the battle royal be the person that moves forward? It's just so dumb when you're watching a battle royal and then the match ends and there's 2 guys in the ring and you go, well, you both win. Okay, what do we get for both winning? You have to wrestle each other next week. Well, it's like, well, we're here. We're in this battle royal. Why not just finish it? Why not we have 1 winner for this stupid match instead of 2 to produce another match? It's so dumb. This whole story is dumb. The concept of the match was dumb. The whole idea that Kyle O'Reilly is mad at Adam Cole because Adam Cole put Roderick Strong in harm's way by letting him mess with MJF, who's so evil and so capable of violence and horrific atrocities that you can't even go near him because he's so dangerous. And now Kyle wants to avenge Roderick Strong, but Adam Cole wants to avenge Roderick Strong, and they both want to fight MJF so badly, and Adam Cole has been trying to fight MJF for so long, and he couldn't pass the challenges that MJF set forth for him, but Roderick Strong did, so Roderick Strong got the match at the last pay-per-view, and now for the next pay-per-view, Adam Cole's trying to get the match with MJF, but he's got to beat his friend Kyle O'Reilly to do it. It is so goddamn stupid, and this is all going back from, when Adam Cole turned on MJF and revealed himself to be the devil, which MJF said in a promo. He's like, you're trying to make me the bad guy. You turned on me. You ruined the tag team. You did all this. You're the bad guy, Adam Cole. And I was like, yeah, right? And it's just such a dumb story. Kyle O'Reilly acting like MJF is the Undertaker. Don't mess with him. He could, he'll end you. He'll bury you alive. It's like, what do you think MJF is really going to do to you? He's going to punch you in the balls. He's going to roll you up. Like, MJF isn't a guy who breaks people's necks and puts people out of commission for years and years. He's not like a big, dangerous, scary Brock Lesnar type. He's not like an evil dead man Undertaker who's going to murder you or whatever. He's like a evil, cheating heel who like punch you in the head with his diamond ring and pin you. Like, the idea that Kyle O'Reilly has that, oh my God, MJF, so dangerous. Like, where did this come from? The whole story, the whole concept, how we got here, where we are, the fact that Adam Cole still isn't getting the match with MJF, it's just, all of it is bad, man. It's so bad. It pisses me off that MJF has to be involved with these jabronis. The whole crew that he's working with right now. Cole, O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, like, move on.
To me, the more upsetting part was the whole like jobber battle royal that you kind of talked about, because pretty much besides Adam Cole or Kyle O'Reilly, like everyone was pretty much like jobber to the low mid card kind of guy, and it's like you had no belief in any of the guys in it, and I think it was really bad because Top Flight, that's a 4-man group, and they couldn't get on the same page with that. Yeah. Because it's supposed to be Action Andretti and Leo Rush in Top Flight.
Really?
With the Martin brothers. Yeah. But you're not paying attention. It's okay. Like, you wouldn't know that, but that is a thing. But they were like, oh, they kind of like turned their backs on them kind of thing. Although it's a battle royal. So, I mean, he's really a man for himself. But still, it's kind of dumb. Like, you're 4 guys. Why don't you work together? At least get to the end or something and then figure that out. But no. Let's turn on each other beforehand. Kind of made them look a little weaker than they actually are. And again, you just didn't believe in anyone else. Like when it came down to the finals, it's like, well, clearly Kyle and Adam are going to make it to the end. You didn't believe
It's
Brian
not gonna
Cage,
be Brian Cage or Lance Hoyt.
Yeah, or Archer, but yeah,
Whatever.
It wasn't going to be. They were a tag team. Yeah. Well, you remember the old gimmick, but yeah, still, like, it wasn't going to be them. It was a little too obvious. And again, battle royals kind of go long, so it felt like it dragged a little.
I wasn't sure who Brian Cage was at first. He had like different trunks on and a beard. I was like, is that Wardlow? Who is that guy? It was Brian Cage. Yeah, that sucked. It all sucks, man. It was all bad.
Well,
The Battle
I
Royal
don't
was
know
bad.
what
The concept of the Battle Royal is bad. The story that they're in is bad. The fact that we're still doing this is bad. The fact that MJF was a babyface when this all started, and now he's back heel, and they're trying to make it seem like he's the bad guy, even though Cole turned on him. It's all bad.
well, I just hope Adam Cole wins on Dynamite this week, so that way, or next week, so then we can finally get it done. Once it's done, like get the match, then we can move on. I think so. Let's hopefully Adam Cole wins and we get the match, World's End, and we can move past this. Finally.
Finally. And we can all have a happy Hanukkah. Me, you,
What did
and MJF.
What did you think of the Anna Jay Penelope Ford match? I have to get your thoughts on this. Come on, because now they're building up Anna Jay to face Mercedes now.
You don't want my thoughts on it, John. They're inappropriate.
Okay, fine, all right.
I liked it.
Well, I'm surprised that you actually watched it. So that's another thing too. Like you probably skipped it, but you didn't skip it. Okay.
I mean, I kind of skipped some of it, but I watched some of it. I did, you know, you know what I liked, John. I liked it. Okay, leave it at that. I liked it. I like them.
Right?
I think they're great.
Do you at least see the improvement Anna Jay's made, like in terms
Yeah.
of her wrestling? Like,
Yeah.
okay, you should put that over.
I mean,
I find
she's better. She's still not at a stage where I go, gotta see her work, brother. You know, she's still kind of like, yeah. I mean, I'm interested in seeing what she could do with Mercedes, because Mercedes is a great wrestler, and you know, I'm sure she could give Anna Jay her best match so far. But like Chris Statlander match, you know, it's going to be hard to top, and I feel like Anna Jay, as far as opponents for Mercedes, is not top of the line here for what AEW has to offer. So,
well,
you know, I don't know, man. I feel like the match with Penelope Ford was what it was. They're better than they were, but they were bad, you know, very bad. And now they're, you know, okay, but they're still not at a level where I go, wow, what a match. Mercedes has been there for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mercedes wrestled Bayley in Brooklyn, like in 2015 or something. And it was like, oh my God, you know, she's been at a top level for so long. She's great. So, you know, if anybody can have a good match with Anna Jay, where you go, wow, that was incredible, you know, Mercedes can do it. So, cool. I'll watch that. I won't skip any parts of that, John. How about that?
well, this is also not the big match for her going forward, too. I think like this match is on Dynamite either this week or next week, if I'm not mistaken. So, I think for the pay-per-view, it's probably going to be Camille. So,
Camille. Cool. All right, Johnny. Well, this has been nice. It's been nice talking to you.
again, I had a great time. I didn't pee my pants, so I'm very happy.
I am
Bubbles
glad
can't
you
say the
did
same
not
thing, though.
urinate on yourself. What?
Bubbles can't say the same thing though. But after I saw the movie,
Hey, no spoilers,
You know,
man.
Bubbles gets very excited. I think you know that.
Yeah. He gets real frisky, too.
I believe he went like that a couple of times.
Oh, jeez. All right, Johnny. Let's not get rude here.
It's late enough. We can get kind of rude like that. It's fine.
Algorithm doesn't like it, brother. Okay. I will be back tomorrow night for UFC 310. We're going to do a watch-along. We're going to watch the pay-per-view. And that's happening tomorrow. So join us tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. UFC 310, Alexander Pantoja, Kai Asakura. Of course, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Ian Machado, Gary. Like, it's a sick pay-per-view from the UFC. We did the preview last night. If you missed it, go check it out on the Ringside Report Network channel right now. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed already. Like this video, leave a comment, and join over at join.ringsidereport.net or membership.ringsidereport.net. Support the Ringside Report Network just like Angelo Contigonis does. I see you, Angelo, in the chat. Thank you, Angelo, and everybody else supporting the Ringside Report Network over at join.ringsidereport.net and membership.ringsidereport.net. I'll be back again with Freddie and maybe AJ. I don't know. AJ is, I don't know.
He said no. He said
Yeah,
he was,
but he may
MIA.
make an appearance later on. I don't know. We'll see. AJ's Jabroni Central these days. We'll see.
He'll fight
All
one
right.
day.
All right. Thank you all. We love you. We'll talk to you again real soon. Hey, there's Jason Pete. Hi, Jason. Bye, Jason.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button, flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again.